History lost, decks past, but in this series, we revisit older decks to see if they can be brought back to the forefront of the meta. We'll break down what made these decks great, what no longer holds up, and how modern builds can give them new life. By exploring different variants and tech choices, we'll tune each deck to fit different playstyles. Let's see if these classics still have what it takes for meta teching. What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and welcome back for another episode of Meta Teching. Today, we're taking a look at the clowns that have came down from the circus to visit us from Blazing Dominion. We're looking at the Clown Crew deck today. We're going to be taking a look and seeing what they got to show us. And we'll be taking a look at two decks that we're just going to be looking at for more of a competitive variant. And then there is another two that I'm going to show you guys for Genesis. But overall, I wanted to bring it to you guys and show you a little bit and give a little bit of a rundown on what this deck does. I really do like the design of it. It is a very interesting deck, and it can draw you up to, from what I've seen in other YouTubers' videos, up to 6 cards. When the new support drops, it can potentially draw you up to 8, depending on the variant that you build. Anyways, guys, I want to bring this to you guys, so let's go ahead and hop right on in. All right, so hopping right into this, we're taking a look at our first deck, which is just the basic generic Clown Crew deck that you can put together just using the Clown Crew cards and some Super Polys and a few others. Generic staples such as Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, Nibiru. Basically, it's your hand traps that you're going to be using to help control the board while you can set up stuff for Clown Crew so you can go through and activate their effects as needed. Do note that Clown Crew is a very interesting deck nonetheless, because you do get to plus off of the tributes that you're doing. Your main monster here, which is Clown Crew Beyond Caviso. Beyond Caviso. I think that's how you say it. Forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly. But you can tribute this card face up by attributing one Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum, or Link monster. If this card is tribute summon, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Clown Crew Beyond Caviaso once per turn. Draw cards equal to the number of monsters tributed. Negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls equal to the number of monsters tributed. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster. So you can pair this with Monarchs or the VIP Whale that's coming out soon for another kind of control play if you really wanted to. This deck is more consistent about tribute summoning. Just do note that you are using a lot of your extra deck as well, so you can't really work well with Monarch control, but you can do Monarch with extra deck. So that is another idea there as well. But on top of that, we do run 3 Clown Crew Flare. You can ritual summon this card with a Clown Crew card. You can reveal this card in your hand, add 1 Clown Crew card from your deck to your hand, except the ritual monster, then discard 1 card. You can only use this effect of Clown Crew Flare once per turn. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Clown Crew Flare once per turn. Shuffle all ritual monsters from the field and graveyards into the deck. Chains one effect monster on the field to face down defense position. So basically being a Book of Moon or being a way to shuffle back all the ritual monsters in each graveyard back into the deck. So this can hurt Mitsurugi a lot as well. All right. Aside from that, we got 3 Clown Crew Baranimise. Yeah. Special summon up to 2 Clown Crew monsters from your deck and or extra deck, ignoring their summoning conditions. Also until the end of the next turn. After this card resolves, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summon from the deck or extra deck during your main phase. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, tribute 1 monster from your hand or field, then target 1 card on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Clown Crew Malabarmise once per turn, so giving you the capability of getting 2 Clown Crew monsters from your deck onto the board to allow you to go into a link play or further extension, so you can tribute for Beyond Caviaso, or just get additional effects depending on what you're using. The other cards that we're running are Clown Crew Matinee Operatics. During your main phase, you can special summon Clown Crew monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Also, until the end of the next turn after this effect resolves, you cannot activate the effects or effect of monster special summon from the deck or extra deck. During the end phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of different card types of monsters tributed this turn: Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum, or Link. Then you can set one spell or trap from your hand. You can only use each effect of Clown Crew, Matinee, Operatics once per turn. Basically a great way of just getting extra card draw, but also giving you the full capability of being able to just get a Clown Crew card out onto the board. Then we have Clown Crew Rehearsal. Tribute one monster from your hand or field. Add one Clown Crew Biancaviacio and one Clown Crew Spell Trap, except Clown Crew Rehearsal, from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Ritual summon one Clown Crew Ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals or exceeds its level. You can only use each effect of Clown Crew Rehearsal once per turn. So giving you that full access to be able to ritual summon out Clown Crew Flare, but also giving you the capability of being able to search for Biancaviaso and an additional spell or trap. For the traps, we're also running one Clown Crew New Face. During the standby phase, you can shuffle 3 Clown Crew cards from your graveyard and or banishment into the deck, then draw one card. If you tribute summon a monster, you can target other spells or traps on the field up to the number of monsters tributed for its tribute and summon and destroy them. If this card is sent to the graveyard except from the field, you can place it on face up on your field. You can only use each effect of Clown Crew New Face once per turn. And then we have Clown Crew Soiree Operations. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Clown Crew Soiree Operations once per turn. Also, until the end of the next turn, after this card resolves, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summon from the deck or extra deck. Special summon 2 Clown Crew monsters from your deck or extra deck, ignoring their summoning conditions. Add one Clown Crew monster from your deck to your hand during the main phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Tribute summon one Clown Crew monster face up. So basically, it's all about getting Biancaviaso back from the graveyard, banishment, or from your deck, and be able to draw into it and summon him during your opponent's turn, so you can negate their effects, but also get other effects rolling to either destroy cards or bounce them back or anything along those lines. The other things that we're running as well are Clown Crew Diablo, Clown Crew Meteor, Clown Crew Friends, and Clown Crew Drish. Now, please forgive me if the link to hasn't came out yet. I'm going off of what I am seeing in Dueling Book right now. But either way, I still wanted to bring it to you guys as an idea. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, why are you running Super Poly? It's because we have some really good targets coming up, because we can use Sea Monster Theseus for our Cool Tune matchup. We have Mud Dragon of the Swamp if we're going against anything else with 2 monsters of the same attribute but different types. We can go and use against Grua, Wings of Resonant Life, if they are running 2 monsters with the same type and attribute but different names. So if you're looking at your Radiant Typhoon players. And Clown Crew Diablo also is a good Super Poly one, because you have 2 monsters with the same attribute but different types. So this can also hurt your opponent if they're running some random mix mash deck or something that requires another type but it has the same attribute. But yeah, so what does the extra deck monsters do for Clown Crew? Well, we'll start off with Diablo. If your tribute summon monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict double piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Clown Crew Diabolo once per turn. Return all fusion monsters from the field and graveyards to the extra deck. Set one Clown Crew trap from your deck. So that can help basically shuffle back all the graveyard monsters that are fusions in the graveyard back to your opponent's extra deck, which can also hurt branded players because they won't get their end phase triggers. We also have Meteor, which is basically your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you tribute summon a monster. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Clown Crew Meteor once per turn. Return all Synchro monsters from the field and graveyards to the extra deck. You can target one Clown Crew card in your graveyard except Clown Crew Meteor, add it to your hand. So giving you an additional way to get a Clown Crew monster from your graveyard back into your hand in case you can't summon it back or shuffle it back into the deck. Then we have Clown Crew Fiends. Tribute summoned monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Clown Crew Fiends once per turn. Return all Xyz monsters from the field and graveyard to the extra deck. Set one Clown Crew spell from your deck. So this gives you full board access to getting to your Marabisme, Matinee Operatics, and Rehearsal. So this can help out further with additional plays, but also can hurt decks such as Ryziel or Zodiac or anything along those lines. Then, of course, Clown Crew Drish. Your tribute summon monsters can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Clown Crew Drish once per turn. Return all linked monsters from the field and the graveyards to the extra deck. Each player shuffles their entire hand into the deck, then they can draw the same number of cards they shuffled. So this can help you get into further plays and extensions because it gives you a higher chance, especially if you're going against, say, Malice players. If they set their full board and you've tribute over Clown Crew Drish or anything like that, you can shuffle back all those link monsters and draw a lot from that. Or your opponent can't. But either way, still gives you a bit of a bonus because you do get to at least draw one, which can further help you out, but it also sets your opponent back up. Now, as for the other cards that I'm playing, I am playing one Zeus and one Typhon because that's just generic and it works pretty well with the deck. The other cards are 3 Super Poly, 3 Preparation Rites because you can add one level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand, then you can add one ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand. So giving you the capability of just getting Clown Crew Flare to your hand. You don't have to add a ritual spell because we don't technically have one, but it does allow us to get our ritual to our hand and continue our plays. But that's basically the generic rundown of what the deck is. Let's go ahead and see how we can improve this. And we'll go ahead and start off by taking a look at the Genesis builds, and then we'll finish up with our actual last competitive build, which I think you guys might like as well. Jacob. So, speaking of Clown Crew and a good deck that likes to be tributing, we have Clown Crew Novellis. So basically you're using the Angry Burger archetype, mixing it with the Clown Crew stuff because Clown Crew can work off of drawing cards equal to the number of monsters that were tributed, but also you're utilizing the tribute mechanic here as well with Belgrill, the other Novellis cards to get further addition to your hands or interactions as well, because Belgrill is, if this card is special summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. Then if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Novellis monster, tribute as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. You can target one attack position monster your opponent controls, tribute it, and if you do, you special summon Hungry Burger from your hand or deck, so giving you access to your Angry Burger or your Hungry Burger. Now what does Angry Burger do? Well, you can ritual summon this card with Recipe card. Monsters your opponent controls that can attack must attack this card. You can only use each effect of the following effects of Angry Burger once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one Novellis monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. Quick effect to contribute one attack position monster on either field, and if you do, special summon one Hungry Burger with 2,000 attack from your hand or deck. Now do note I am at 99 points with this deck, so it does work in Genesis currently. The other thing that I will add here is that each of the Novellis monsters work because you can tribute one attack position monster that your opponent controls, or when an effect is activated, it targets a monster on the field. When a monster is targeted for an attack, you can tribute one Novellis monster you control and then get a certain effect. For example, Foyer lets you tribute one Novellis monster you control, one attack position monster on either field. And if you do, special summon level 5 or 6 Novellis ritual monster from your hand or deck, getting you into your Balamirne or your Belgrill. Balamirne. You can ritual summon this card with a Recipe card. If this card is special summon, you can add one Novellis or Recipe card from your deck to your hand. You can target one attack position monster your opponent controls, tribute it, and if you do, special summon level 6 Novellis ritual monster from your hand or deck. This is a quick effect. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Novellis monster, you can only use each effect of Balamirne de Novellis. The other one that we are running as well is Poitis. You can ritual summon this card with a Recipe card. If this card is special summoned, you can draw one card. When a card or effect is activated that targets a monster on the field, or when a monster is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you contribute one Novellis monster you control and one attack position monster on either field. And if you do, special summon level 4 or 5 Novellis ritual monster from your hand or deck. So getting you into your Foyer or your Belgrill, not Belgrill, Balamirne. Oh goodness, I butchered that. I'm sorry for anyone that speaks French or this language. But we're also running the level 1 at 2 and then the level 2 at 2 because these cards are really good as well. If this card is special summoned for Baise, If this card is special summon, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 Excavate Novellas card from your deck to your hand. You can also shuffle the rest into the deck. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, you tribute this card and 1 attack position monster on either field. And if you do, special summon level 2 or 3 Novellas ritual monster from your hand or deck. You only use each effect of Vuelvase de Noveles once per turn. Then we have Confries de Noveles. You can ritual summon this card with a recipe card. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy it when a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, you can tribute this card and 1 attack position monster on either field. If you do special summon level 3 or 4 Novellas ritual monster from your hand or deck, you can only use each effect of Confries de Noveles once per turn. So, being able to basically tribute your opponent's board away can help out greatly. The other things that you're running in here as well is Novellas Recipe Book, Recetas de Noveles. While you control a Novellas monster card, all face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. Each time a monster is tributed by a ritual monster's effect, your opponent pays 850 life points once per turn. If you special summon a ritual monster except during the damage step, you can target one of them, add 1 recipe or Novellas card from your deck to your hand except a continuous spell. If you do, increase that monster's level by 1. You can only activate 1 Novellas recipe book, Recetes de Noveles per turn. Up next, we're running 3 of the field spell, which is Novellas Restaurant at Table. When this card is activated, you can add 1 recipe card from your deck or graveyard to your hand once per turn. You can place 1 ritual monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck, draw 1 card once per turn. During your end phase, you can target 2 cards in your graveyard, including a recipe card, place them on the bottom of your deck in any order, then draw 1 card. You can only activate 1 Novellas Restaurant at Table per turn, so thus giving you a bit of a capability to shuffle back cards into your deck to further interact. Then, of course, you have 2 Recette de Poisson, Fish Recipe. This card can be used to ritual summon any Novellas ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Then if you ritual summon Vuelvase de Noveles, you can apply the following effect. Add 1 recipe ritual spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Recette de Poisson, Fish Recipe. Recette de Viande, Meat Recipe. This card can be used to ritual summon any Novellas ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Then if you ritual summon Confries de Noveles, you can apply the following effect. Change all defense position monsters your opponent currently controls to attack position. So either way, you are still either getting a search or you're changing your opponent's monsters to attack position. So when a card is targeted, you can tribute a monster off their board, which can help you get into your next one. Then of course we have the Omni Negate. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while you control a Novellas ritual monster, negate the activation. If you do, you then can destroy that card if you controlled a monster that was special summoned by the effect of a Novellas monster. If you special summon Hungry Burger, you can banish this card from your graveyard, tribute as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. You can only use each effect of Chef's special recipe once per turn. So, being able to give you an Omni Negate, but also giving you the capability of tributing as many monsters on your opponent's board can help out greatly. Now, why are we running this with the Clown Crew stuff? Well, all our Clown Crew cards like to be tributed. And since if we tribute Clown Crew Flair, we can recycle back all our rituals that we really need, which can further help us out. The other thing is that once we shuffle them all back into the deck, we get to basically reuse the rituals that we can get access to. Now, the other cards I'm running, of course, are Ultimate Slayer, Pre-Preparation Rites, and, of course, a couple Ultimate Slayer targets, such as Golden Cloud Beast Malong, Garura, Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, and Eclipse Twins. You don't have to really worry about running those. You can change it to however you see fit, but I like running those as they are kind of generic and easy to find and use. Alright, so that's all I got for the Clown Crew Novellas deck. Let's hop right into our next Genesis build. So, I heard you like to tribute. Well, let me introduce you to Lair of Darkness Clown Crew, where basically we can utilize the effects of Arima and Lilith, along with Lair of Darkness, to get us some traps that we can tribute off our monsters to basically impact our opponent, but also get us some free card draw. Because With Arima, the Wicked Warden, you can discard this card, add 1 layer of darkness from your deck to your hand. You can tribute 1 dark monster, draw 1 card, or if you tribute a dark monster other than this card to activate this effect, you can add 1 dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand instead. You can only use each effect of Arima, the Wicked Warden, once per turn. So basically being able to tribute a monster on your opponent's side of the board can also allow you to add something that has 2,000 or more defense as well. That's a dark monster, but we're not really worried about that because the card that we're basically going to be utilizing more is Lilith, Lady of Lament. Because if this card is normal summoned, its original attack becomes 1,000. You can tribute 1 dark monster, reveal 3 normal traps from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 randomly for you to set to your field, and if you do, shuffle the rest back into your deck. So those are going to be our 3 virus cards, which is Full Force Virus, Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and Deck Devastation. Deck Devastation makes it to where we get to look at their hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of their third turn. After this card resolves, destroy those with 1,500 or less attack, which is a lot of cards nowadays. We also have Eradicator Epidemic Virus, which is basically the same thing, but instead of monsters with 1,500 or less attack, it is spells and traps, which can further hurt your opponent. And then, of course, we have Full Force Virus, where we look at our opponent's hand, all monsters they control, destroy all those monsters with 1,500 or less defense. So either way, we're hitting on various different spots here just by utilizing the Lair of Darkness cards, because Lair of Darkness, all face-up monsters on the field become dark. Once per turn, if you would tribute a monster you control to activate a card effect, you can tribute 1 dark monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Once per turn during the end phase, special summon as many Torment tokens, Fiend, Dark, level 3 attack, 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense, as possible to the turn player's field and defense position, up to the number of monsters tributed this turn while this card was face up. So you can tribute as many monsters as you would like, and it, well, only once, but you get the point. With Spell Card Soul Exchange, you can use that to tribute as many cards as needed for the tribute summon. So this allows you to go into Clown Crew Beyond Caviacio a little bit easier. Now, for other cards that I'm running as well, we're running a bit of a card draw engine, which is Jen the Diamond Tiger and Ken the Warrior Dragon. Jen, once returned at the end of the battle phase, return this card from the field to the hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Jen the Diamond Tiger once returned. During your main phase, you special summon 1 Ken the Warrior Dragon from your hand or deck to your opponent's field in defense position. If this card is special summoned by the effect of Ken the Warrior Dragon, discard 1 card. Then you got Ken. Once per turn at the end of the battle phase, return this card from the field to the hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Ken the Warrior Dragon once per turn. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Jen the Diamond Tiger from your hand or deck to your opponent's field in defense position. If this card is special summoned by the effect of Jen the Diamond Tiger, your opponent draws 2 cards, then discards 1 card. So basically we get a draw 2, discard 1, but we also get Jen, where if this card is special summoned by the effect of Ken, discard 1 card. So we could also make it to where we're forcing our opponent to discard a card as well if needed. So further a bit of more damage to them by making them hand rip at least 1 card. Now, what's the great part about this? We are tributing as much as possible. That is basically what the focus of this version of the deck is, but also giving us additional card draw and capabilities to set up for more capabilities for the viruses, such as tributing 1 dark monster with 2,000 or more defense. Jen has 2,000 defense, but is a light monster, but if Lair of the Darkness is up, he becomes a dark monster. We also have Beyond Caviacio. If he's changed to dark attribute, it turns on all of them, such as Eradicator Epidemic, Deck Devastation, and Full Force Virus. So you have the full board capability there as well. So while these cards are very helpful, they do give us further opportunity there. But say we can't lock them out through the traps. Well, we are playing 3 Spellbound, where all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed, used as link material for a fusion, exceeds, synchro, or link summon until the end of this turn. So basically, you can stop their plays from really popping off if you really wanted to by continuously using Spellbound to where you stop them from playing, and then during your turn, you tribute over their monsters with the Lair of Darkness effect, which can further help your plays nonetheless. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this build. Let's hop into our final one, which is a more meta viable variant. All right, so our final deck of the day is going to be Clown Crew Regenesis. Well, why are we playing the Regenesis? cards in here? Well, they offer us up a lot of good capabilities here, because if we use Bianca Viasio, Regenesis Archfiend, Sage, Warrior, and Dragon all can special summon themselves because he is a 2500. So he has 2500 attack and or defense. So that also allows us to trigger off Regenesis Archfiend to special summon this card by revealing another monster 2500 attack or defense in our hand. Do note there are supposed to be 3 Clown Crew Clown Crew Matinee Operatics in here. I just forgot to add it back in. So don't mind that. But the fun part about this is that you can use the Regenesis cards to continuously set up additional bodies to go for an OTK, but also control the board because you can use Regenesis Dragon for a spell and trap pop. Sage as a Omni Negate, which can further help, allowing you to tribute off the Beyond Caviso. You have Warrior that is a monster bounce, which is further helpful as well. So you have full board capability of interacting with your opponent nonetheless. Then we have Regenesis. Take one Regenesis monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. If you control a Regenesis monster, you can add one monster with 2500 attack and defense from your deck to your hand instead. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, then target one Regenesis monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So giving you the capability of getting back into Archfiend, which allows you to add one Regenesis card from your deck or banishment to your hand, except for Archfiend. During your opponent's end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add this card to your hand. So basically giving you capability of recycling back the Regenesis to search up Clown Crew Bianca Viasio, which can further help. We also have Regenesis Code, where you can special summon one Regenesis monster from your deck, but send it to the graveyard during your opponent's end phase. Also, until the end of the next turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck during your main phase if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there. You can banish it, then target one of your banished Regenesis monsters, special summon it. So the thing is, you're going to be activating this during your opponent's turn, just so you can get an additional negation, interaction, or pop basically onto the board. Then we have Regenesis Cycle. If you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense, target one card your opponent controls, or if you can target 2 if you control Regenesis Lord, banish that card if this card is in the graveyard, except the turn sent there, you can banish it, especially one monster with 2500 attack or defense from your hand, so giving you the capability of special summoning out beyond Cavicio if you need to as well. Then we have Regenesis Commands. Apply all these effects to all cards your opponent controls in the same column as your Regenesis monsters. Face up cards negate their effects. Face down defense monsters cannot change their battle positions. Face down spells and traps cannot be activated until the end of the next turn. So this can further slow your opponent down from being able to play, but allowing you to set up further control with the deck to get through more plays. While incorporating a lot of the hand traps with this and the Clown Crew spells and traps, you have more of a way to break your opponent's board, but also control it to a state to where they cannot really interact. If they do try to interact, you have an answer between Sage for an Omni, Dragon for a spell trap pop, or Genesis Warrior for a bounce. Then they have to deal with the other cards, such as the Clown Crew cards, which can further slow down your opponent in general based on what they can do, from being able to shuffle back all Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, Link, or Ritual monsters. They also come with additional effects as well. So, being able to control the board with this deck is very helpful, but it also helps greatly with the hand traps as well, because you're further whittling down your opponent's capability to respond to certain interactions. So, that's all that I have for you guys today, but I do hope you greatly enjoyed today's deck profiles within the meta teching episode, and I hope you get at least a basic understanding of some certain decks that you can play when looking towards utilizing Clown Crew. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one.